Kevin Zay, there's a Scientology mission just south of me in Battle Creek, Michigan. I know you said missions are established for a specific task or purpose. What specific task would they be performing in a small city in a part of the state that has most likely less than a handful of practicing Scientologists? Okay, Kevin, thank you for this question. Actually, what you have there is an org, not a mission. Battle Creek is an official Church of Scientology Class 4 or Class 5 organization. And that means it's an official Church of Scientology, which has org level status, which means they can train auditors as well as audit people up through the state of clear, both levels. With missions, with Scientology missions, they are smaller usually, both in size and staffing, and they do not deliver auditor training. They deliver lower level courses, introductory level courses, some of the more advanced courses like the student hat course or the, well, actually, I think that's about as far as they go, actually, is the student hat, maybe the TR's course. But they're really not focused on a lot of advanced training, and they don't make auditors. And that's the key difference between a mission and an org. Now, a mission is a term that's used. There's some confusion here, I know, because mission has two distinctly, completely separate definitions in Scientology. So let's go ahead and talk about that. The first one is the mission, the service organization I talked about. Originally, they were called franchises. And, you know, that's because that's what they are. They are an individual Scientologist who pays the church tens of thousands of dollars in order to get the name rights for the service marks and trademarks of Dianetics and Scientology, and they then get to set up shop, and they pay for it themselves. They rent the building, they hire the staff, and they have to make it go all on their own. They get some direction from church management, but not a lot. That's the missions. The orgs are the next step up from that. Missions get sometimes turned into orgs when they get kind of bumped up in status, and they then become these higher level churches. And those are the ones that are getting daily direction from management. The missions are not. Their missions are not being called or emailed or telexed every other day like the orgs are, okay? That's the main difference in terms of management style or management structure, is the missions are sort of the mission holder, the guy who pays for it. It's up to him as to whether it's going to make it or not. And the church is somewhat interested, but not. Missions open and close all the time. And now they hardly ever open at all. There's really hardly any expansion of Scientology going on anywhere in the world. The missions are supposed to be the first frontline opening of an official organization in an area, and it's supposed to expand and grow and then turn into an org, and then grow other missions around it, is sort of the growth pattern of how Scientology is supposed to work. So that's your Scientology missions. Now there's the Sea Org missions, and those are the things you asked about in your question, where you talked about a thing having a specific task or purpose. Those are Sea Org missions, and that's not a building or a service organization. That's a few folks going out on a project in order to get certain targets done at the remote location. Usually it's a remote location. You can fire on-base missions. You can be in Los Angeles on the Big Blue base, and you can be fired on a mission on the base to go get some specific task or project done, like handling a huge backlog that's been accumulating for years with the filing, or with address corrections, or with some other big project that needs to get done, and you don't have regular crew to throw at it, so you fire a mission in order to go deal with it. You also have ethics missions or production missions, which go out and kick ass and take names. Those are the kind that I usually was going out on. You have logistics types missions where you have to go buy property or work out some problem or situation, or like, for example, when they were going to start making books, they had to go find a property to make their publishing company, to put their publishing facility in place, and that was a mission was fired in order to go find that building, find the one with the best price and the best location, et cetera, and two Sea Org members just went out, and that's all they worked on 24/7 until they figured out where the publication house should be located, and then they purchased the property. And that was a mission. So missions can do almost anything. You even have courier missions where or an individual Sea Org member will have to courier money or documents or something to a remote location. So lots of different kinds of missions, and those are Sea Org missions. They are almost always more than one person, except in the case of the courier missions where you can just send a single person. There you go.